Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. Today is day 3 of my short tour of South Africa in December 2023. So today I'm going to go from here in Oudtshoorn over to Worcester. Not Worcester in Worcestershire, but Worcester here, not far north of Cape Town. So there is the garden route, there's like the main road that goes up there, but I've had a look on a website I found for South Africa mountain passes, which was excellent. I'll put some links in the description, and there's a couple of passes I can take along the way which should make it a little bit more interesting. It was only going to be a short day otherwise, I think just over 3 hours, and I think with doing half of it on dirt roads that goes up to about 5. So yeah, looking forward to getting back on the road, and let's see what it looks like. Off we go for day 3. Actually, every time I've been out of this hotel and I've gone past this road sign that says boom, I'd like to think there used to be a boom, but I think it might be that, you know, the sound that you have to make when you go over the speed bump. If you saw my video from yesterday, this bit might look a little bit familiar. So I'm actually heading up the same way as if I was going to the Calitzdorp pass, and then the pass I'm taking today actually heads west from just about the same place where the Calitzdorp pass starts. It's not particularly long, I think it's just a few kilometres, links in with a couple of others, and just takes a bit of the main road out of the day. Plus I get to ride this bit again, and even though this is the R328, it's still pretty glorious. It's quite late in the day today, it's gone 12. I ended up getting in quite late last night and decided that as I'm on holiday I could have a lie-in today. Over there to the right and ahead of me, that's the mountain range through which the Calitzdorp pass goes. You see there's a little cleft around back there, if that looks on the camera. That's where the pass goes over. It's quite hard to see it from down here, but if you have a look at my video from yesterday, that really was rather fun. Right then, here we go, heading towards Calitzdorp on this road. Transition from tarmac to gravel. I guess a lot of people slam on the brakes, which is why it's a bit rutted just at the start. Looking forward to this. Seeing another vehicle right away. The trail's not particularly difficult, there's just a bit of gravel on it here and there, and occasionally where the rocks show through it gets a little bit bumpy. But to be able to ride through the scenery really is just stunning. Yeah, there's a few bits like this where it's been patched up a bit, there's just a lot of loose gravel, which aren't so great on mostly road oriented tyres, but this 1200 GSA seems to be coping pretty well. Between the traction control and the linked braking, it's probably doing a lot of the work for me. But yeah, other than a bit of lightness at the front end from time to time, it seems to be coping really well. So it's definitely getting a bit more technical. As you can see, we've got exposed rocks, there's no barriers. It's no longer that big wide open road that I had before. But it's still quite fun. Oop, there we go, little skip. Yeah. It's like green laning in the summer. Well, the temperature's hit 31 Celsius, so it's definitely feeling a lot warmer. I'm also quite low. Down to my right is, I'm actually down by the river. So it's been one of the lowest bits that I've been so far today, which probably doesn't help the temperature because it was cooling down a bit at higher elevations. Way too much video of this bit of road, but it's just been so cool. And I think it must be more than 50 kilometres, it's about 30 miles or so, of just these gravel trails. Some bits are quite nice, like this, other bits you just get a few rocks poking up and through. But I've seen 2 Africa Twins going the other way, and then I saw 2 vehicles parked by a building, and that's been it traffic wise. There's not been a single gate I've had to open, and there's not been any towns, there's not been anything really to stop for. So in a way I suppose I'm quite happy that I'm still the right way up. But it's just so cool to come and do this. Now I'm sure that some of you live in parts of the world where this is not unusual. I'm in the UK, where there's not many places in England, I think, where you can ride this far without seeing anyone on trails like this. Yeah, I love it. I think I'll be back. Tarmac. It's not for very far, but it's quite nice to have a sit down. I should probably find some more water I think as well. So that was a fun morning. Well, fun couple of hours. I left quite late. I've stopped in Calitzdorp for some lunch at a place called Ebenhart's, and it really is just a little oasis of calm. It was getting up to about 32, I think 33 was the highest I saw on the dash. and when I pulled in, there was a load of bikes parked outside. There's a big tour group coming through, so it seemed like a reasonable place to stop, and it was. I can recommend the ribs. Right then, I'm going to get back on the bike. I've got a little bit of road to do, and then I'm back on a long trail that's going to take me almost all the way to Worcester. Here we go. Right now I'm riding a road which is called Route 62, which I think has been compared to Route 66 in the US, except this one is for the Western Cape. And I must admit, it is rather fun. It goes up and down a bit. We're not really going over mountain passes, and most of it is quite wide open like this, but it's certainly fast, it's certainly flowing. There's so many fun corners with like really good sight lines. You know, if you come up behind a car, they just move over onto the yellow bit, so you have space to get past. And yeah, it's a nice way to get between the trails. This is more of Route 62. As you can see, it's not short on landscape, and it's quite nice to be coming up a road with a crash barrier for a change. We've done all these dirt passes where you might get a little row of stones if you're lucky. Here we're on a proper road, and it really is an amazing road. All these corners are quite nicely banked, so you can have a real play through this spectacular landscape. So I think this is the much further west than the Swartberg Pass that I went over yesterday, and I'm guessing it must be the end part, the further westerly bit of the same mountain range. Well, short and sweet. Back on the gravel again, this time for 37 kilometres. Can't wait. It's like it's following the bottom of the canyon. It's still quite wide open, but there's a lot of loose gravel on it, which is kind of fun with these road tyres, but nothing that seems to be too severe so far. And wow, just really, really spectacular. I'm guessing this is a river valley that's just carved its way through the rocks, and they put a trail that goes through it, right through the middle. This bit coming up here looks a little bit narrow. At least it might be a little bit cooler. Wow, that's pretty cool. A little bumpy. Wow, that's amazing. I think I might be almost through the mountain range. At least it looks like it, because instead of having massive cliffs in front of me now, I can see a lot more blue sky. I think maybe after a couple more bends, maybe that's it. I'm at the other end. The temperature's dropped off a lot, so it might just be that I've gone a lot higher. I've had a little critter, whatever that is. It's just been brilliant. I mean, the scenery is... I've taken a few clips of it, but it's been like this for pretty much all the way. And I think I didn't even really realise that this was a gravel road. I think when I picked it on my route app, I actually just thought this was a regular road that was going to take me up to the next one. So I'm delighted that it turned out like this. This is it, out the other side. That was brilliant. That was so much fun. So we've come through the mountains, now it's on the left hand side, and there's this glorious fast gravel road that I can just zip along. It's nearly as quick as actually being on the main highway. And you can see the mountains there to my left. It's just beautiful. I love it. Well, I think that's the most fun I've had on the trip so far. So turning off the 62, I had that sort of dirt road that wound through a canyon that seemed to go on for miles and miles. Just really impressive steep side of the canyon. Just glorious, glorious riding. Then I came out on the other side, and I think I'm now in the Karoo instead of Western Cape. I hit that dirt road. It was dead straight pretty much with the occasional bend. But I don't know whether it's just the surface was a little bit better under the gravel, or that I've ridden enough of it now that the confidence is building a bit. But I was able to do most of that stretch. I don't know how far it was, I'll check when I get back. I'm guessing maybe 20, maybe 30 kilometres at 100 kilometres an hour, 110, without feeling like I was about to do myself an injury. Just, you know, really exhilarating to be standing through that scenery, just zipping along, and having the confidence the bike's going to do its thing. I was almost a little bit disappointed when just back there the gravel came to an end and I was back on the tarmac. But hey, you know what? This isn't too bad either. I can cope with this. So after being in the mountains for such a long time, I now suddenly find myself on this big sort of desert plain. You can see more mountains in the distance, but it's probably the flattest bit of land I've seen in a while. Well, it's just a short blast up that tarmac. And now I think this is the next dirt road, and this is the long bit. This is the bit that runs alongside Highway 1, National 1. get in the right gear. Let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, it's breathtaking. I guess as it runs parallel to the highway, there won't be that many vehicles on it, because unless you actually want to ride this or drive this, you'll probably pick the quicker route. But yeah, today has blown me away. Today I thought might almost be like the shorter day that wasn't that interesting after the other days, but no, I think this has been my favourite day so far. That was just to give you an idea about what it's like when you do find a vehicle coming the other way. There's been quite a few on this stretch, so I've been getting good at holding my breath. I can't talk while I'm holding my breath. But what I found is the most fun is when you get two back-to-back. So the first one comes through and you can't see, and then the second one that's coming through, you kind of know it's there because you saw it from a distance, but they can't see you because you're in a cloud of dust. So I'm taking those bits just a little bit easier. But wow, this place is just stunning. You see that quite a lot of this has got washed out and it's been sort of sketchily repaired. So it's quite a bit rougher than some of the other bits that I've been on. But still, the GSA is still coping on its almost road tyres. So yeah, what a way to spend, I think it's Wednesday today. So I've got about 7 kilometres still to go before I get to the O1. I just want to talk a bit about what this has been like. If you don't ride a bike, well, you're probably not watching this anyway. If you do ride a bike, sometimes you just have a day or a ride or something you do that is just life affirming. You know, it makes you think, yeah, this is why I'm doing this. This is my best life. And I've just had, I can't even remember, 3, 4, 5 hours of roads like this at speeds that maybe I thought I wouldn't be able to do. But it's funny how your confidence just creeps up in this spectacular scenery, beautiful weather. And this is what it's all about. And I don't just mean riding motorbikes, I mean life. Living your best life, doing things like this that just make you realise it's all worthwhile. That's probably enough of that. I can go back to telling you just how much fun I'm having. But if you ride a bike and you've had a day like that, you'll probably get an idea about what I'm talking about. But it is just the best. The best. Love it. So that is it. That is the end of an absolutely epic trail ride. This N1 seems a little bit dull now. Very dull, in fact. But it will get me to the hotel before dark. So this is the last bit of my ride today. It's on the fast road, it's the M1. Here I think this counts as motorway. But this one's kind of hotel. This is just this massive scenery. I mean, the road just goes on and on. I'll go there to my right. There's silhouetted hills in the mist as the sun starts to go. Sort of big lakes and farmland. Down a really steep hill with a rescue lane, like emergency escape lanes for the trucks, and it's just been, I wasn't really looking forward to this last bit of the day, but actually to cover the last few kilometres pretty quickly and actually have this amazing vista, yeah, it was rounding off the day quite well. So that's me all done for day 3. I'm quite dusty. It was just an epic riding day. I'd come back and do this day again. It's a nice cooling breeze now, the temperature's dropped off from the 33 in the heat of the day. I'm here in the small town of Worcester for the night, so it looks like there's a few restaurants I can walk to, so I'm going to go and check those out. But yeah, it's just an amazing day to ride a motorcycle. You probably got that from some of the things that I said. You can't really explain it in a video, but if you ride a bike and you've had a day like this, then you'll know what I mean. Anyway, I hope that's been interesting and useful. Maybe I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.